Welcome, all you beautiful souls, to your weekly energy update. And we're going to be looking at the week of June 26th through July 3rd. Has some interesting things that are happening this week astrologically, actually starting on the 26th all the way up to like July 1st. The god of war, Mars, is going to be having this interesting kind of energetic dance with Pluto. So you got the god of war and Pluto, which is kind of the destroyer of things. It's like the challenging kind of energy of that planet. And they're both going to be interacting with each other during those 4 or 5 days. So really be aware that there's going to be some it's almost like you can smell gas in the air and you're like, don't light any matches because it's going to go boom. So just walk gently with others and just kind of carefully walk around. Don't have to walk on eggshells, but just be aware on, do I need to say things that way or do I need to say that at all? And wait for this week to kind of go by before you bring up any kind of volatile subjects. Because we also have on June 28th, the new moon in Cancer. Cancer is a very emotional, energy. It is attached to the moon. So, because Cancer is ruled by the moon, so you've got all this strong emotional energy that is happening. Not so much like a full moon, but a new moon is about new things, new emotions coming in. So you've got that mother, that nurturing energy, that emotional energy that's interacting as well, starting on June 28th, planting new seeds for new emotions, new ways of looking at things too. We also have the Neptune, planet of Neptune, on June 28th, the same day as the new moon, going fully retrograde. We've been in the pre-shadow of it since March 22nd. So you've already started to feel this energy of the Neptune retrograde, which is about like the stripping away of illusions or any kind of realities or any kind of small t truths that could have clouded our vision and keeping us from having clarity. So as this started in March 22nd, like some beliefs, some ways of seeing things have started to be challenged, but now we're going to go full bloom from June 28th all the way through December 3rd in having like this review of what we believe about things. Especially Neptune has to do a lot with our spirituality, our awareness of that kind of dreamy type world as well. And get used to that emotion and that feeling as we revisit that, because we actually it goes direct on December 3rd, but then we go into the post shadow of that, which means that we kind of have a review of the things that we wanted to change all the way up until like March 10th, which is very interesting because Neptune, we start to go kind of head forward, but then we kind of start going to a halt and drifting backward again because we go back in to retrograde June 30th of next year, and we stay in that all the way until December 24th of next year, the 2023, and we'll be in the post shadow of that all the way until March 27th of 2024. So this challenging of looking at the way we see things is going to be a huge theme for the next, year and a half, right? So just get used to it. Once we understand that this is the energy that's out there, then we can deal with it differently because we know why it's happening. We don't feel as out of water, which makes sense with everything going on in the world, with all these truths that are coming out around political things and, everything everywhere. All of us have been having like this challenge of what do I believe? Because we're hearing different stories from all over the place, and it really starts having you wonder, what is truth? All these capital T truths of the heavenly realm, we're wanting to grasp for that because all the small t truths of the human world seem to be fluctuating and flying all over the place and even contradicting each other. So there is this call for a capital T truth that's so much more. I always say that the small t truths are those that are rooted in the conditional love of the human side, but the capital T truths of the heavenly realm are those that are rooted in unconditional love. So we're going to be having this little fluctuation and this pointing towards ourselves to find out what within our soul do we believe, instead of listening to the popular opinion of the humans and the outside world. So we're going to dive in to your weekly reading just to see what is going to be coming about from this sparking of energy and see what the Creator wants you to know. So we'll jump into your sign right now. All right, Scorpios, this is your weekly energy update, and we're going to start off by pulling a card here from the Shaman's Dream Oracle, and any of the cards I use in a reading I do list in the description box below. Give these a good shuffle. All right, so for our Scorpios, we're just going to see what Spirit and the Creator want you to know about the energies around this Neptune retrograde and what it's bringing you. So what do they want you to know about this energy? Okay, right away, here we go. You've got Winter's Dream, a gestation period. See if that here. And of course, in the Southern Hemisphere, you guys are just entering winter. Winter solstice just hit, like last week. And this energy talks about sanctuary, conscious awareness. So the winter's dream is a summons to go within. Your life force longs to turn inward, like the sap of trees returning to the roots. Cast your gaze toward the deep and hidden places in your heart. Come to rest again in the sanctuary and safety of your soul and be at peace, basking in your crystalline clarity in that quiet place. That's so much that Neptune retrograde energy too, this focus, this inward glance into the truths of your inner truths. And it says, this is not hibernation, so do not fall asleep. Take your quiet, wakeful nature with you into stillness and know that you are replenishing your life force. Trust that the deep buried seeds inside your soul, the ones you planted even before you were born, are stirring softly, ready to awaken with the spring. But do not try to rouse them early. Instead, surrender to the quiet of winter's dream. Winter's dream can lull you into a slumber where you can lose consciousness and become caught in a nightmare. Awaken, awaken, it says, exclamation. Find that easy return to wakefulness that brings you clarity. This is the time to set your priorities in order, yet not act on any of them. Allow the clarity and the transparency that comes with winter's dream to permeate your heart and soul. The time for action will come later. Remember that all things are born of dreams, and your task is to wake up within the dream to lucidly guide it to your chosen destination. That is so perfect, because that Neptune energy we're talking about, normally Neptune is the dream, it's the illusion. But when it's in the retrograde period, it is about, it's almost like you have both feet in the spirit realm. And when the retrograde happens, you put one foot on the ground, and it helps ground your dream and to where you have this balance between the heavens and the earth instead. So I'm loving that for you. It's very much hermit energy too, because 6 and 3 is 9. 9 is the number of the hermit in the major arcana, and that is about turning inward to get clarity around your dream and to get that clarity about what you're wanting to do, and it's kind of like get your plan set, and then eventually you will take action on it. We're also going to pull some tarot, of course, get some clarity around this message of clarity. One more time. All right. So for our Scorpios, what else would you like them to know, please? Okay. Do those two there. What else? Okay, they do that one. That one. Any others? Okay, yeah, you actually get 6. All right. So let's... Okay, they do want to do it like this, so we will. Let me just make some space here. All right. So start with this one here, and you do have the King of Swords. So talk about clarity. Swords is your thoughts, your beliefs, your mindsets, your attitudes, your expectations. And definitely the King of Swords is the master of the mind. He's not only the ruler of air, but all the kings have air, so it's double air. So you really are getting the clarity of mind during this period of time. And they actually normally have the Ace of Swords with them, which gives you not only the ability to connect to the capital T truths of the higher realm, but also helps you cut away those small t truths, those deceptions like we were talking about with that Neptune energy, of cutting away those thoughts and those beliefs, those illusions, those realities, those false realities that no longer serve you, because you're ready for this huge clarity to come in. And then you also have the Magician. So the Magician, you're looking out from behind the mask. I like this interpretation of this deck for you because it is, you're seeing behind the masks of seeing. You're seeing both the real you, the real others, the real things of what are going on. You know, again, those false realities being removed. The Ace, the Magician being the number 1 also represents like your higher self bringing down the energy, the love from the higher realms down into the earthly realms. Usually you'd see someone like this Magician with a wand pointed to the heavens, one hand pointed to the ground, and that's like you're the conduit of bringing that power into the earth. And so it is this message of, in this winter's dream, you get that clarity as you connect more and more to your higher self, because the more you connect to your higher self, the more you realize what your dream really is. You know, how do you uniquely want to share that unconditional love with the world? Not, you know, the dream that you wake up every day and go, oh crap, I got to go live my dream. You know, this is the waking up early because you're so excited to live the dream that of sharing this love in your own unique way with the world. And usually they'll have like a table in front of them with all the suits, you know, you have the wands and the pentacles and the swords and the cups, which represent all the 4 different aspects of our human experience with your energy and your worth and, you know, abundance and your thoughts and your emotions. It's like you have all this in front of you to help you bring this dream into reality. And so again, I kind of feel like you're putting out everything onto that table, seeing what you have, getting ready to put it into action after this winter's dream is over. Yep, and then you have the 6 of Swords. So, you know, we talked about the swords already. The 6 of Swords is like this movement from one way of thinking to another. So you are on this journey. This is about action, mental action. So you are doing a lot of mental work in preparing for this dream. I kind of see you, and this is not for everyone, of course. It is representing some sort of planning, but I see someone having like getting a 5-year planner, and you have such, you know, wonderful things that you have it timed out, where you have what you want to do, how you want to get there, and all the steps that you want to take to get there, and you're being reasonable in the time frame that you are, you know, putting around it. You're making it, even giving yourself time for delays and different things like that, because you know they happen. And, you know, worst case scenario is that you finish early, you reach your goal earlier, you know, even though you gave yourself more time. It's like setting yourself up for success instead of setting yourself up for failure. And I love that. And then you have the Six of Cups as well. I'm going to move these down to put the 6 above the 6. The Six of Cups, cups are your emotions, and this is called like the nostalgia card. And this is about revisiting your emotions, revisiting your memories, your emotional memories, and also having movement and transition in that. And how that happens is the more you realize and you connect, to like, especially this higher self of yours, connecting to that unconditional love, seeing things that you can, see the different sides, especially with this Six of Swords. You're seeing the old ways of doing things and thinking and new ways of thinking and doing things. And as you connect to the higher realm, you realize that in every moment, we always have a choice. Every single moment is a simple choice between two things: unconditional love or the fear of losing conditional love. One's of that love, that eternal, stable, unconditional love from the heavenly realms, from where we come. The other is the temporary, unstable, conditional love that has conditions where you can lose it, and we fear being rejected and unacceptable. And we have these two places that we can choose from. And when you go back and look at a memory, you can see that if it's a very pleasant, happy memory, there's probably going to be some unconditional love laced in there, right? But if the memory is standing out and it's a not so pleasant one, then we realize, it was of the fear of losing conditional love was there. And this awareness that comes with it is that when our human side goes into fear, we literally go out of our minds because we go into fight or flight mode. Our body goes into this process where blood rushes out of our brain to our arms and our legs so that we can run like crazy or fight. And so it doesn't want us standing there thinking and responding in an emotionally mature way. It doesn't want us standing there and getting eaten by a monster or killed. It wants us to react and just animalistically go into survival mode. Well, when our little child inside of us feels unsafe or out of control, it goes into that fight or flight mode. It sounds the alarm, and then it does animalistically, reactively, whatever it feels it needs to do to feel safe again or to feel back in control again. So when you go back and think of an old emotional memory that's not so pleasant, you can think about what was going on in there. How was that other person in fear acting out of their minds, and how were you in fear acting out of your mind? When you start to see it that way, you start taking their actions less personally because you realize they were just in fear mode, in reactive mode, acting like an animal that's trapped and it's not personal. They weren't looking at you as you, they were looking at you as a threat, or that you just happened to be standing by when it was flying around trying to get back in control and feel safe again. So you start to look at the situation differently, you start to look at the other person differently, and you start looking at yourself differently. So you have this emotional movement of your memories where you also start to look at things differently. So you have this mentalness that you're looking at things differently, but also emotionally, you're starting to look at things differently. And then you have the Four of Cups. Yep. So you have emotional stability that comes in. And the more and more that you connect with the Ace of Cups, which is normally in here, it usually has like an Ace of Cups and 3 cups that are spilt, which represent our outside world and our emotional instability, trying to feel emotionally stable in an unstable world where people change and pass away and situations never stay the same, and our bodies break down and deteriorate, and our possessions, our finances are stolen and disappear and deteriorate too, and we just grow tired and feeling emotionally unstable. But then when that beautiful Ace of Cups comes in, which is the Holy Grail, full of the unconditional love of the higher realms, right? The magician bringing in that unconditional love into the physical world. We're like, we feel that wholeness and that completeness, what we've been searching for all along. The stability comes in. And so these basically represent this balancing, this movement of your emotional way of thinking, and it brings you stability emotionally as well. Then you have the Five of Wands. Five of Wands usually represents kind of like this conflicting energy, but the fives are a powerful number because they're the number of change. And usually you'd see like someone with, a card with like five people on it with these staves on it, which are like large wands, and they're battling each other. It's like this kung fu movie where they're battling and it looks like they're trying to kill one another, really hurt one another. And you're like, oh my gosh, what's going on here? And it's all this fear and all this conflict of competition and, like I said, people trying to hurt one another. And you're like, oh my gosh. And eventually it gets down to one person barely standing. The other four are laying down exhausted on the ground. And they're like, what's going to happen next? Is he going to kill him? Or what's now? What's, going to happen in the next scene? And then they all start laughing. And you're like, what is going on here? And they all help each other up and they put their staves away. And then they walk down, the street of the monastery to the meal hall. And they all are buddy-buddy and they share a meal together. And you're like, what is happening? And you realize, oh, this is a monastery. And these were, brother and sister monks that were helping each other train out of love to improve their skills. And so the energy that changes, because wands is energy, it's change from this feeling and this energy of fear, and it transforms to this energy of love instead, which is what we're talking about with the Six of Cups too, the emotional change, the energy change, the mental change. So all of this is happening while you're in this nice little retreat here in the Winter's Dream. And then the final card we're going to pull is actually from the Gentle Creatures Wisdom deck, and we're just going to see what the final message that Spirit has for you for this energy as you embark on the Neptune retrograde. So for our Scorpios, okay, there we go. And you've got the Cosmos. And I love that. Looking above, seeking things higher from above. No kidding, right? And let's see what else we have here for the Cosmos. Maybe. There we go. So it has our gentle friend asks a simple question. Where is my place in the cosmos? Who am I? Like we're talking about, right? Finding your dream. How do you uniquely want to share your unconditional love with the world? The winged messenger doesn't bring an answer. Instead, it brings a key on a red cord, which represents the circle of life. The key is what will unlock the answer. The key doesn't unlock any specific mechanism of iron or steel. Instead, it unlocks the mystery of all parts of the cosmos, showing where each of us fits in. Each of the cosmic orbs represents a place of learning that our creatures must visit. So all these orbs down below here, these are the places that he gets to visit on his adventure. Reminds me of a video game where when you start off, you get to choose what world you're going to go have an adventure in, right? The lesson here is that there is no one place where the creature or any of us belongs. We're all made up of multiple and complex potentials. We are all complicated varieties of a set of skin and bones that can miraculously hold space in more than one realm. The question is not so much where as it is how many wheres. The beginning of the quest of the cosmos is also the end of the quest. It is a circular riddle that continually answers itself. Yeah, confusing, right? Which is where this clarity comes in for you. As you connect more with your higher self, it is this awareness that comes on what is your dream? How in this lifetime, this where that you've come into, do you want to specifically and uniquely share that unconditional love with the world? You do have this balancing and this revisiting and this change and transformation of perception of how you see things and what you want to do as you go through this hermit period here that really, it started, like I mentioned in the intro, back in March, or I think March 22nd is when you kind of started to feel the pull of this Neptune retrograde. But, this is when it's kicking in this week. And then you're going to be in it for a while, both in the absolute retrograde, and then the post shadow, and then into another pre shadow, and then through another retrograde back into another post shadow. So you're going to be here for several months, so enjoy the journey, enjoy the process, because you're going to learn so much about what you want to do. And it doesn't mean that you're waiting until, I think it was 2024 until you put things into action. This is, you're on the planning stages, but just know you're having all this clarity that does come with you with that energy for this Neptune retrograde. So I love this for you. All right, Scorpios, I don't have anything else to add to that. If you are looking for more messages of love from above, in addition to these weekly energy updates, I also put out a monthly reading for each zodiac sign and a few other types of videos throughout the month. So if you don't want to miss out on any of those and be notified immediately when they become available, if you give this video a little thumbs up and click the like button, also click the subscribe button, and that gives you access to the notification bell. And when you go in there, if you select the all option, then you'll be notified of any new videos that come out on this channel. Also, doing those things helps spread the love, and it helps my channel grow in significant ways. Because when you like a video, share a video, comment on a video, and subscribe to the channel, doing those things makes the YouTube algorithm so giddy excited. It wants to share the videos of this channel with other people as well, and it's all free. So if you feel inspired to do any of those things, I am very, very grateful for that. Also, these are general readings, and if you're looking for even more specific information and answers for your specific life, I do offer personal readings at a reasonable rate, and all those are listed in the description box below. All right, mighty Scorpios, as you go through this amazing adventure, please know every second of every day of your life that you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things, and of course, I love you too. Have an amazing week. I'll be talking with you soon. And in the meantime, you hang in there and you take care.